some relationship drama that's so toxic, it's practically poisonous. We've all been there, right? In one of those toxic relationships. Just me? Okay. My boss is dating my ex, and now I feel so uncomfortable and insecure at work. That would suck. This story came July 29th, 2018. My ex and I broke up around 4 months ago after dating for a little over a year. She was the one who broke up with me, but at the time I agreed that it was best, so we ended things on good terms. We're pretty chill now and we have mutual friends, so we often all hang out together. So things between us are chill and friendly. I work at a research lab at my university, and I just recently landed the position after a pretty long and competitive application and interview process. I met my boss, who is a grad student, and we became buddies pretty fast. He's a really nice and funny dude that knows what he is doing. I see him every day since me and 2 other undergrads work under him and help with his research while he helps us with our own. Fast forward about 2 weeks and I see on my ex's Snapchat story a picture of my boss with a heart emoji. That's how you find out? Snapchat? I'm shocked, so I reply to her story asking who her new boy is, and sure enough, she tells me she is dating my boss. I feign happiness for her, and I don't tell her that he's my boss or that I know him in any way. But damn, I felt like someone just stabbed me in the heart. Yeah, you guys only broke up 4 months ago too, so it's fresh. I thought I didn't have feelings for her after our breakup, but seeing her story, I was just hit with a pang of jealousy. Maybe it's because he's a major step up from me. I'm a poor, disorganized undergrad, and he's a successful young talent who has his crap together. The next day at work, I'm basically on edge the whole day. I would look at my boss, remember that he's dating my ex, and then I would just feel very uncomfortable. The rest of the week was like that too. I stopped joking around with him and kind of just stopped talking to him in general. Now I dread seeing him every day because the fact that he's my boss, he orders me around, and it just makes me feel crappier and more below him. He's got the girl and I've got no one. I still love my job though, and I worked hard to get it, so I'm not planning on leaving. I also feel like a crappy person since my boss has been nothing less than nice and is honestly a great guy. So does he not know that that's your ex-girlfriend? By the way you're saying it, your boss doesn't know that he's dating your ex-girlfriend. Now I just feel like I should have tried harder in our relationship because dang, she was pretty perfect in every way and I just let it all slip through. The other day, she came over to have lunch with him during his lunch break and I saw them laughing together. And yeah, another wave of sadness and jealousy. What do I even do now? How do I stop feeling like this? How should I normalize the situation at work? We have an update and it came 1 week later. We're now at August 5th. Thanks to everyone who gave me advice on my first post. For the past week, I have been trying to focus on myself and my work and not care about my ex and my boss who's dating her. It worked pretty well. I started painting and I'm pretty close to finishing it, and I impressed my boss, the professor who owns the lab, not the one dating my ex, by staying late for 2 days in a row to finish a really difficult experiment. During our lab meeting, my boss shouted me out in front of the entire lab and said he was really impressed by my hard work and dedication. That must have felt good. That felt good. Okay. As for the situation with my boss and my ex, he found out. Like I mentioned in my post when my ex told me who her new boyfriend was, I didn't mention that he was my boss, so neither of them knew. Okay. 2 days ago, my boss and us, the 2 other undergrads, were in a conference room discussing a paper when my ex came in. She came to drop off my boss's wallet that I think he forgot or something. Anyway, she saw me, did a double take, and went, "Jake?" She was definitely super surprised and caught off guard, and my boss was already like, WTF, so I just was like, "Hey, Sarah." She shot me another shocked, wide-eyed look and left. Safe to say the rest of the meeting was pretty awkward. The next day, it was obvious that my boss now knew our history. Things just turned really awkward. Like he didn't know how to act around me anymore or what to say. Now we're both awkward around each other. He's still nice and all, but things are just too uncomfortable between us now. It's not his fault though. I think that things will be better between the two of us, but as of right now, I actually feel kind of relieved that he knows now. Something about how both of us now know and don't know how to act and what to do kind of makes me feel reassured. Sarah, fake name, also called me the night that she found out I worked there, but I missed her call and I forgot to call her back. It's good though. I've been trying to think of her less and distance myself a bit, but if things continue to remain really awkward to the point where both of our work is affected, I will consider talking to my boss about switching me to work under another grad student instead. That's so awkward. Like you can't avoid it at all because you go to work every single day. Work takes up majority of our hours in a day. So, that thought and seeing her is just always going to be there, and that's really tough. Next story. Am I the a-hole for changing my mind about my wife being a stay-at-home mom since she changed her terms? This story came August 30th, 2025. I have been with my wife, Allie, for 2 years, married for 1, and we are expecting our first child together in a few months. I also have 2 children, 8 male and 6 female, from a previous relationship with Alex, 32 female, and we have 50-50 custody. However, Alex travels a lot for work, so we have the kids more than most of the time, so we get child support from her. Before we got married, Allie and I spoke extensively about what we wanted, and she was adamant about being a stay-at-home mom. I was upfront with her that I was fine with it, that we would be able to afford it, but she would need to be a stay-at-home mom for all the kids to be able to make it work. She agreed happily. So as you can predict, she sat me down the other day and told me that she wants, at minimum, her first year as a mom to only be a stay-at-home mom to our shared baby. She said after that she can help me out more with the other kids, but wants to protect her first-time motherhood and said it's her #1 boundary. I told her that would no longer work then. I could not support a family of 5 on just my salary without help with all of the kids. She said I needed to figure it out and respect her boundaries. But this simply will not be possible. We have family to help us for sure, but she's saying she doesn't want to be responsible for the older kids at all in the first year. Also, we want at least 1 more child, and now I'm worried she'll try to extend the year with another baby. She is incredibly hurt and angry, but I don't think it would even be possible to respect her boundaries. Would I be the a-hole for taking back my promise to let her be a stay-at-home mom? Edit, my ex-wife will be keeping the kids for 2 weeks after birth and has been able to be assured she won't travel for that first month if emergencies come up. I am also paying the person I am currently for pickups, watches, drop-offs, etc., the kids before and after school, and additional 4 weeks after Alex already has taken for 6 full weeks off from any other kid duties for Allie. Alex is the ex-wife, Allie is current. Okay, I was getting a little mixed up there with their names. Man, this is really tricky. And some of y'all might relate to this in the sense of got into a relationship where your partner already had children from another marriage, and now you're bringing your own into the mix. And I understand wanting that time as a first-time mom with just your baby, but yeah, financially, that's a lot without the help with those kids. Definitely. Let me know how you're feeling on this so far, but we do have an update and it came 2 days later. We're now at September 1st. I talked to Allie and I laid everything out. I told her that her demands were out of line and incredibly entitled, and that if she insisted on keeping them, I was no longer comfortable with her quitting her job and I would not support it. Further, 2 weeks without my kids was ridiculous, so I told her that if she went into labor during our custody time, my parents would have the older kids when we were in the hospital, but I am no longer comfortable sending my kids away to their moms for 2 weeks. Other families don't normally do that, and I would not either. Oh, I didn't really realize that. That didn't click in for me, that she's asking for the older kids to be gone for those first 2 weeks. But for the first 2 months of us having the baby, I would keep paying the nanny and take care of the older kids' things, which is longer than I originally agreed. Honestly, it was also more than she had even originally agreed to, so I thought it was a fair compromise. She lost her mind and flipped out on me. Told me that I wasn't respecting her first time of motherhood and that she shouldn't have to care for kids I didn't give birth to, in quotations, for the first year of her baby's life. I don't think that's how it works. I was honestly over it at this point and done arguing. I told her she needed to check herself and that none of this was new or a surprise. If she didn't want to do it, she shouldn't have agreed to it, and her being a stay-at-home mom was now off the table. To be clear, I know I could make it work with just my salary, but it would mean taking the funds I would allocate towards her fun money for things like shoeing, self-care, etc. Shopping. I'm assuming that meant shopping and self-care, etc. And I'm not comfortable telling an adult dependent on me financially that she couldn't have a choice for fun money. I showed her the budget, which backfired because she said that I didn't need to defund her fun money, and she gave me a few solutions, which were, number one, take the older kids out of private school and ask my ex to give us that money in child support instead. 2, stop putting money into my older kids' college fund. And 3, selling my boat. Those were her solutions, none of which have her sacrificing anything, only me and or my kids, and the first one was so unreasonable, I could only imagine how that conversation with my ex would go. She would laugh at me out of the country. I told Allie all of that was unreasonable and a non-starter, and honestly, it just made me see where her priorities are. So yeah, I told her that if she couldn't agree to common sense compromise, I could no longer trust her to be a stay-at-home mom to our older kids, that there was zero daylight in how much I cared about my older kids versus our shared baby, and I had to protect them both equally. The fact that she thought it was reasonable to stop saving for my older kids' college while still giving her money for Botox and highlights showed me where her priorities would lie if she no longer brought in income. That is quite the perspective, isn't it, when he says it like that? I said I was no longer comfortable with her quitting her job, and that since my work has daycare on site, it's not free, but heavily reduced, that would be the best option for our family after her FMLA leave. She doesn't get paid maternity leave, just unpaid up to 3 months, which will be fine. She's devastated and being cold towards me, but surprisingly not my kids, which is good. I don't want to kill her dreams of being a stay-at-home mom, but I can't work with someone who refuses to be reasonable. We discussed it with our therapist last week, who is actually on my side, obviously, but was trying to point out the unfairness. And she just keeps saying that she needs me to prioritize her needs and boundaries. The therapist even tried explaining that these are not boundaries, but she is not listening. Then he added an edit. I just want to add, I've known Allie since freshman year biology. We never dated until a few years ago, but we've always remained friends. Oh, you've only been dating for a few years. Why did I think this was your wife? I have known her, and this behavior is all so new. She loved being a bonus mom, would be excited for the kids to come over for extra time, and would even ask me to ask my ex if she could have them randomly if she wanted to take the day off and go swimming or to the zoo or something. I've asked her doctor about this, and she's just yelled at me about it. I have no clue what to do. Were you thinking it might be hormones maybe, because pregnancy does a lot to your body? Can only imagine, and I have a lot of friends who have babies or they're pregnant. Very curious for moms out there who can probably relate to this feeling more than anybody. But also, as the husband, what would you do? This would be such a difficult position to be put in. And that's your partner. And now you're having a baby. Before we get to our next story, you know what time it is, and I have one of my new cups. Ooh, I love her. Cheers. All right, you guys remember how I love my fruit glasses from Dollarama? Well, they have new ones now in different designs, and of course, I had to get all of them. Look how freaking cute these are. The lemon. This is a new one. Like, they don't have peaches in the other one. Strawberries, and also they didn't have blueberries. I actually prefer these ones over my other set. Luckily, they're only $1.75, but now this means that I have to donate 4 things from my kitchen cupboards because that's my rule to myself, since I'm always buying new cups or mugs and things like that. So now we got to donate. Which one do I pick to drink from today? I think this one, because it's my favorite. All right, next story. My boyfriend of 5 months spent the night at his ex's house. Ooh. This story came January 19th, 2017. They were together on and off for 3 years, and they broke up officially around this time last year. I'm still friends with one of my exes, so I didn't really think anything of it when he told me that he was still friends with one of his. They don't hang out alone, they only hang out with their close-knit group of friends. I've met them all, and they are really nice people. I've never had any reason to doubt anything he's told me. He has been cheated on by this particular ex, and it really shook him up. Otherwise, they would probably still be together. So I don't think he would ever cheat on me or anyone else. He's just not coded that way. That said, he and I were supposed to hang out last night right after work, but I couldn't get a hold of him. His phone was either turned off or the battery was dead. Either way, my night was put on hold for hours until I finally decided to just eat out by myself. I was already dressed and ready to go, so I just left, grabbed some pho by myself, and came home to find 0 text or calls from him. I left my phone at home by accident. He didn't get back to me, nor did he stop by at my apartment, according to my roommate. On a whim, I popped onto Instagram to see what he was doing, if he had posted anything that day. I was partially worried that something bad had happened to him, and partially suspicious. I never had any reason to feel suspicious about him before. As I scrolled through Instagram, however, I noticed that his ex had posted something. For whatever reason, I follow her and she follows me. The photo was taken at his favorite restaurant. She took a photo of her dessert, and you can clearly see him in the background, seated across from her, his elbows on the table. She made the post hours before he and I were supposed to hang out. And in the image description, she mentions having a movie night with him. One of their friends, who I've grown close to, commented on the photo with a question mark. There was no reply. I was kind of numb at that point. I wasn't sure what any of it meant, but I knew he was doing something he shouldn't have been, and that he had blown me off in the process. Again, this was completely unlike him. It could have been that he simply had forgotten our plans. We organized it a week prior, which is long enough to forget. Well, aren't you generous? That said, I'm his girlfriend. He should remember. He should at least make sure he's reachable. I went to bed last night feeling sick with worry, and then when I woke up this morning, I found a text from him saying the following. Hey, I'm so sorry, I forgot we had plans. Kathy and I marathoned Westworld and I fell asleep. My phone died, I'm an idiot, please forgive me. How about I pick you up tonight and we go to that new sushi place on Main? Just you and I love you. I'm seeing red by this point. That's crazy. Going out for dinner, movie night, slept there, not a chance. I don't really know what to think. He's always made a point to never hang out with her alone. He hasn't made any promises to me in any explicit words, but when he and I first got together, he told me things between him and Kathy were completely finished and that he had no desire to hang out with her alone anymore. He said the only reason they still occasionally see each other is because they're part of the same social circle. It's the same with my ex and I, except I've never hung out with him one-on-one post-breakup, and I don't plan on it. I replied back asking if anything happened between them, and he said, no, of course not. I would never do that to you. But he made himself unavailable for hours without even thinking to say hi to me all day. Oh girl, I am seeing right through this. I'm so sorry, but I think he cheated on you. Our plans were for 8 o'clock. Unless he's had a rough day at work, he usually stays up much later than that. Except he didn't have to work yesterday, so I don't understand how he would magically fall asleep so early in the night. I trust him, but at the same time, I feel betrayed. I don't trust him. You know, I'm happy for you that you trust him, but I don't. Before I finish with the final update, put it in the comments, raise your hand. Do you think he is cheating on her? Or no, maybe you don't, and it was an honest mistake. The next update came 10 days later. Ooh, we're gonna get all the drama. So, oh, here we go. He did in fact cheat on me with Kathy, his ex-girlfriend. No, of course he did. And I did, in fact, break up with him. For a few days, he left me alone. Then last weekend, on the day of my brother's wedding, my ex decided it was wise to crash the reception. He showed up in a full suit, made nice with some extended family of mine that he knew, and then sought me out as I slipped away to use the bathroom. You won't believe how shocked and unsettled I was to see him there. As some of you know from the comments, I blocked and deleted him from everything when I broke up with him. So I guess he showed up as a last-ditch effort. Why he thought it was a good idea to crash my brother's wedding, I have no clue. Regardless, I immediately told him he had to leave or I would tell the groomsmen to escort his ass out. He didn't seem fazed. He just grabbed me by the arms and said very clearly, "I can't survive without you," looking me in the eyes and holding me so tight that it hurt. Ugh. In that moment, I felt so unsettled that I flat out felt scared. I told him I had nothing to say to him and that he needed help, but he acted as if he couldn't hear me. He just held me tighter, leaned in really close as if he was going to kiss me, and then when I turned my head away, he broke down and started crying. Full on sobbing in the middle of the hallway. One of the groomsmen came around just in time, recognized my ex, assessed the situation, and then peeled him off of me. He didn't call the police, he just said this to my ex. "Listen, man, I've been there, but you can't do stuff like this. You gotta go home." For whatever reason, my ex listened. A couple of minutes later, he left in a cab and I explained what happened to the groomsmen in further detail. We decided we would tell my brother after, so as to not ruin his and his wife's special day. It was a small town venue, so there was no security there, but I trusted that my ex wouldn't come back. Fast forward to last night. A week later, I was sitting at home talking to my roommate, and all of a sudden, I got a call from an unknown number. I didn't answer it the first time, but the second time I did, and it wasn't him. It was actually his ex. The girl he cheated on me with, Kathy. Apparently, after I broke up with him, they got back together and she was calling me to confirm that he had crashed my brother's wedding. I told her the truth and then I politely asked her to not contact me again because I want no involvement in their relationship. The audacity she has to be like, I'm dating him now and I was just wondering if he went to go see you. She popped off on me saying, "You're a stupid effing sleut. Why would you get so pissed at him for cheating on you and then cheat with him when he's with someone else, you dumb beep?" Huh? It was a whole lot of that and a whole lot of screaming. I have no idea what he told her, but nothing happened between us at the wedding. Oh, now she thinks he cheated on her with you at the wedding. Oh. Girl, you are out to lunch. He tried to kiss me, I didn't accept, and then he got kicked out. I said as much and then I hung up. And now people are saying that she is pregnant with his kid. I don't know, it's a whole bunch of crazy, and I am glad that I don't have to deal with it anymore. The fact that he had me convinced he was a decent person for 5 straight months is embarrassing. Obviously, he's in a bad place right now. I've been there, as I'm sure we all have. So I can empathize with him in this strange way, but this is too much. I'm going to get tested very soon just in case, and then hopefully I can put this relationship behind me. Good riddance. I mean, I hate to say that I was right in this situation, but girl, a story like that to believe like, oh, this was innocent? No. Absolutely friggin' not. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on these stories. I'll see you in the comment section, obviously. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy. Bye.